Welcome back to our journey through the fascinating world of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime's Light Novel. Let's continue from the last part, where we left.
They moved to a simpler reception room, avoiding the fancier one to prevent any mishaps with expensive furniture. Shinji's group seemed happier in the plainer surroundings. Rimuru asked about their drink preferences, leading to Shinji choosing coffee. Ghidorah's dramatic reaction was followed by an order for 4 American blends. Ghidorah was surprised by the choice. Then, turning to Mark and Jen, they nodded in agreement. Ghidorah hesitantly asked if Rimuru was from another world, to which Rimuru confirmed. As they relaxed with their coffee, Rimuru talked to Ghidorah first. Ghidorah shared a big secret: he had lived many lives before. This surprised Shinji and the others, who looked at Ghidorah in shock. Ghidorah told them he learned a lot by reading in secret libraries in different kingdoms. He became friends with Adelman while he was learning about magic. Ghidorah talked about his past and why he didn't like the Western Holy Church. They were behind his best friend Adelman's death. Ghidorah wanted to get back at them and became well known in the Empire. He even fought Veldora, a powerful dragon, which was a big deal for him. Ghidorah was glad he had finished a special ritual before meeting such strong enemies. He didn't think the Empire's army could beat Veldora and said so, which made Rimuru uneasy but made Veldora happy to hear the compliments. Ghidorah didn't agree with the Empire trying to win over Sir Veldora. He didn't want to waste soldiers on battles that wouldn't work, mainly because he wanted to get back at Luminism. Even though he helped the Empire grow, he said he was doing it to turn their power-hungry eyes to the West. Rimuru wasn't sure about this, especially when Ghidorah said he was against war and wanted the Empire to join forces with King Gazelle instead of attacking the forest of Jura. His sudden change seemed too good to be true, but Rimuru thought about using his influence to avoid a fight. In the next room, Benimaru and the other leaders were making plans. He was trying to learn as much as he could from Ghidorah to help us. During our talk, he brought up maybe killing King Gazelle, which made him realize how dangerous things could get. Rimuru wasn't convinced by Ghidorah's words, which showed more of his desire for war than true loyalty. Still, Rimuru got important details from him about the Empire's army and Yuki's secret plans. As they talked more, Ghidorah said he didn't care much for the Empire anymore because they got rid of his soldiers. Even though he usually thinks only of himself, he was brave enough to ask to join Rimuru's side. Rimuru liked his honesty but knew it would be hard for Benimaru and the others who were listening to trust Ghidorah's sudden wish to help them. It would be tough to deal with everyone's reactions to this later. Despite Ghidorah's questionable loyalty, Rimuru decided to bring him on board as a guest advisor on a trial basis, intending to make him earn his place. Ghidorah's expertise could prove valuable, especially if he assisted Ramirez. However, before settling in Tempest, Rimuru planned for Ghidorah to complete a task in the Empire. Meanwhile, Shinji and his companions were permitted to stay in Tempest with assurances of loyalty, although they expressed reluctance to engage in hostilities against Yuki. Rimuru acknowledged the complexity of their relationship with Yuki, influenced by Shizu's connection to him, yet maintained a cautious stance towards him, advising against excessive trust. Ghidorah seemed to share Rimuru's sentiments regarding Yuki, suggesting he could serve as a mediator between them. Rimuru saw potential in recruiting Ghidorah, believing his skepticism towards Yuki could be beneficial in navigating their delicate situation. After reuniting Ghidorah with Adelman, Rimuru allowed them to live together. Before their reunion, Rimuru instructed Ghidorah to return to the Empire and advocate against the war, knowing it was a challenging task. He also provided Ghidorah with a backup plan to divert the Empire's attention towards the labyrinth if diplomacy failed. Rimuru explained how casualties in the labyrinth wouldn't affect them and equipped Ghidorah with items to persuade the Empire's commanders. Ghidorah accepted the task confidently, promising to do his best to prevent the war or, failing that, to steer the Empire towards the labyrinth. With Ghidorah and his apprentices granted asylum, the incident came to a close, offering unexpected allies to Rimuru. In the Empire, there was a mysterious guy named Tatsuya Kondo. He looked young and was nice to everyone, but he was actually very smart and sneaky. Even though he seemed friendly, you could tell by looking into his eyes that he was always thinking and planning. No one knew how old he really was, but it was clear he knew a lot about secrets and tricks. In the Imperial capital, it wasn't uncommon to see otherworlders, as the Empire made efforts to protect them. Tetsuya was one of these individuals, rescued thanks to the Empire's plan and the magic in the realm. Over 70 years ago, Tatsuya bravely served in a kamikaze squadron during a military operation, risking his life for his country. He reflected on those days, feeling there was no other option but to fulfill his duty. Despite the passage of time, he still remembered his fallen comrades and retained his rank of first lieutenant in their honor. So Tatsuya had headed off to his death, but with a flash of explosive heat and light, but instead he found himself in another world, miraculously saved by the Emperor himself. By sheer luck, he appeared in a private garden where the Emperor was relaxing, who deemed it fate. Awakening unharmed after his ordeal, he pledged his life to repay the Emperor's kindness, offering all his newfound powers and allegiance. From that day forward, he remained hidden from public view, never aging and retaining his youthful appearance. In the depths of the imperial capital, he led the Imperial Information Bureau, known by various names and feared as a mysterious figure who wielded great influence from the shadows. The Imperial Information Bureau (IIB) received intel that Ghidorah dispatched a team led by Shinji to conquer the dungeon. First Lieutenant Kondo acknowledged the report with a brief response, maintaining his usual reserved demeanor. The report detailed Yuki's forces comprising over 1,000 otherworlders, with a fraction possessing battle skills. Yuki, the former Grandmaster of the Free Guild, claimed to rescue otherworlders, but the IIB knew it was a lie. The Imperial Information Bureau (IB) found out that Yuki had gotten close to the Razo family and used their power. They also discovered an illegal summoning program in the West, bringing in many fighters from other worlds. These summoned fighters were cursed to be loyal. Kondo saw how serious this was and worried Yuki might try to take over. The IIB knew who was involved in Yuki's plan, even some Imperial Knights. This put the Emperor in danger, as traitors had joined the Imperial Guardians, who were supposed to protect him. Kondo recognized the danger posed by Yuki Kagurazaka and Lord Ghidorah, two influential figures with potentially treacherous intentions. While they had evidence linking Ghidorah to Yuki, the depth of their connection remained uncertain. Kondo acknowledged Ghidorah's significance to the Empire but remained wary of any conflicts between his goals and the state's ideals. He understood the need for thorough investigation before taking any overt action, particularly regarding the otherworlders associated with Yuki. If either Yuki or Ghidorah exhibited suspicious behavior, Kondo vowed not to offer them a public trial, ready to deal with traitors decisively in the shadows. With a steely resolve, Kondo remained vigilant, knowing that both Yuki and Ghidorah were already within his grasp, silently plotting in the darkness of the Empire. In a fancy office, there sat Caligulio, the commander of the armored division, recognized by his patch-covered left eye. On his desk lay several magic crystals, high-quality sources of magical energy. Thanks to Yuki's technology, these crystals, taken from monster cores, could be refined into magistones, a reliable magic source. While monsters occasionally dropped natural magistones, they were rare and mostly used for decoration. Without a steady supply, they were useless as an energy source. Caligulio picked up a magic crystal from the desk, marveling at its quality. He then read the accompanying report from the research lab, stating that each crystal could produce 100 Empire-made magistones. Angry at Ghidorah for keeping this lucrative opportunity secret, Caligulio suspected that the crystals were obtained from a monster nest. Despite Ghidorah's silence on their origin, Caligulio deduced that they all came from the same species of monster due to their consistent energy levels, which was unusual for harvesting different species simultaneously. He recognized the need to refine them into magistones for practical use. And Caligulio knew that taming the creatures wasn't possible, but he also knew that hunting them regularly could help the Empire store more energy. A report said that if they could control the place where these energy crystals were found, which might be in a dungeon in Rimuru's land, it would really help their energy problem. But Caligulio was upset because Ghidorah didn't see how important this was and was too busy with something else involving Yuki. Caligulio was annoyed that Ghidorah missed such a big chance and thought that getting those crystals should have been a top priority for the Empire. A noble friend of Caligulio told an interesting story. They said that Ghidorah went into the dungeon and lost 3 helpers. But instead of feeling sad, Caligulio was curious about the treasure Ghidorah found. Ghidorah brought back magic crystals and other precious things, like a beautiful sword. This sword is now in Caligulio's office. It's made of a very pure metal called magisteel, and it's better than anything in the Empire. It's even as good as what the dwarves make. The noble gave Caligulio the sword for free, saying it had special powers. Ghidorah didn't want anything for it. Caligulio wanted to know why Ghidorah was so generous, but the noble wouldn't say more, keeping it a secret. Caligulio, who came from a humble noble background, worked hard and became a division commander. He paid 300 gold coins for 3 special swords from a noble who was actually of lower rank than him. Even though this noble didn't really respect Caligulio, he pretended to because of Caligulio's higher position. Caligulio realized that this noble was trying to cause trouble between him and Yuki by talking about Ghidorah's treasure. Caligulio felt upset because he wasn't chosen to lead the mission to take over the labyrinth, thinking that Ghidorah was still holding a grudge against him for leading the armored division.
That's it for today, guys, and thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for next chapter. Until then, goodbye.